When, where, and how did you and Kelly meet?
We met at the Y. Kelly's gonna say we met at Meadow Creek, and Brett and I were lifting weights.
We first met when I was at a baseball game at Meadow Creek, and I was getting a tour of Meadow Creek from a former student.
That's technically true, but I mean, I'm pretty sure we met at the Y before that. And so if we're going by Kelly's answers, it's gonna be that we met in the Meadow Creek weight room, and she got down and did some P90X Aberber X with us, and she was just wearing a skirt.
We had heard sounds in the weight room, and we went into the weight room, and you and Riley were doing Aberber-X. I sat down and did it with you in my sundress.
So Riley has a thank you letter to write to Mr. Tony Horton. Describe in detail your first date. What did you do?
See, here's the discrepancy part again, because I know she's gonna say our first date was at Panera Bread, because I paid for her and that I wore nice shoes. But we hung out with friends afterwards in a big group, and so I don't really consider that a date.
We went to Panera, and I thought it was a date. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be a date, but my first clue that it was a date was Riley had these really white, like clean shoes on that I've never seen him wear ever again since then. And I was like, oh, did you get new shoes? And he was like, no, these are like 2 years old. And I was like, oh, these are his fancy shoes. And then we went and ordered, and he paid for my food, and that's when I was like, oh, is this a date? And I asked him at the cashier with a line behind us, and it got very awkward. And he was like, well, no, but I mean, it was a date. And then we went and we played board games with Aaron and friends. I don't remember who all was there, but big group.
Were you nervous?
Once I realized it was a date, I was. Because I just thought we were hanging out, but yeah, then I kind of was. And embarrassed that I asked him in front of the cashier if this was a date.
I think our first date is when she came over and we watched a movie. We watched Return to Me, and they may or may not have been a little makeout session that night, but I guess I consider that our first date, because when we hung out alone first.
For your first date, were you nervous?
Yes. I don't know. I had previously been getting in trouble talking to Kelly. I worked on the fitness floor at the Y. She worked downstairs, and I would come downstairs every Wednesday nights, and I get written up, like things that can lead to me getting fired, just to talk to her. Yeah, I was definitely nervous. I just wanted to make sure that I found everything out about her. I gave it a good shot.
All right, Riley kind of jumps the gun a little bit on this next question, but describe your first kiss. How did that happen?
Well.
When did you guys first kiss then? Were you feeling it, or like who made the first move? I mean, was it planned? Did you think it was planned?
Maybe. Maybe it was planned.
I think the movie was done or near done, or something like that. Or maybe I put on the dunk videos and that sealed the deal. I don't know. For anybody who's seen the dunk videos of me and Brett,
It'll be after the dance.
pretty impressive. So yeah, I don't know. I think basically I kind of turned to her and we were just goofing around, like just talking, and I like kind of poked her in the ribs a little bit, and she's like, ah! And then once I figured out she was ticklish, I was like, and we kind of just leaned in, and she closed her eyes and she looked like she was like, no, but she didn't really stop me.
We were watching a movie at his parents' house in the basement. The movie is Return to Me, and the movie was over, and he he started tickling me, and I closed my eyes and like tried to get him away from me and stop him from tickling me, and when I opened my eyes, he was like this far away from me. I was like, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And then he kissed me, and it was all right. It was good, but I didn't plan it, and I was trying very hard to avoid it, but I mean, it was good in the end.
Do you think he had this all planned out to a T?
I mean, now that you're asking me, yeah, probably he did.
He had a little checklist
That
to go down.
movie, and he was like, oh, you can put your head on me. Yeah, he totally had it planned.
Was it planned? Did you pre-plan
No,
everything out? You're like, step one,
No.
poke her in the ribs.
Step
two,
Cut a hole in the vines.
none of that.
No, I didn't. No, I just, I don't know, it's one of those things, you just go for it.
Moving on, enough kissy. In what ways do you think that you and Kelly are most alike?
We're not really alike.
Well, as I mentioned, she's weird. I am also very weird.
I think we have similar sense of humor. We laugh at the same things. And I know exactly how to make him laugh, and he knows exactly how to make me laugh.
We are both pretty compassionate people.
If we go on vacation, we're constantly doing something like museums, you know, exploring things.
We sing songs about our cat. So,
I like to eat his cake pops that he makes. That's not us being alike, but he makes the cake pops, I eat them.
the thing that makes us most alike is that we both make each other better people.
Describe the circumstances of your guys' proposal. Did you suspect it?
No. In fact, I think I said a lot of times that I didn't want to get engaged or married until after I graduated, so no, I didn't expect it. He wanted to go nighttime rollerblading with friends. He invited Allison and Trip, and that's another thing that's very similar about us is we want like all of our friends around us all the time. So I started inviting Brett and Aaron, and I'm texting them to get them to come. We went rollerblading, and Riley went up to the bandstand to go to the restroom, and he never came back, so I went to go get him because I thought Allison and Trip were going to beat us around the lake. And so then I went down there, and I kept trying to like pull him. I'm like, they're going to beat us, we're not even going to be by them. He was like, do you want to dance? And I was like, yeah. On rollerblades? And he was like, yeah. So we started dancing on our rollerblades, and he pulled me over the stone that said, Kelly A, will you marry me?
I mean, for those of you who don't know, it's a stone. It says, Kelly A, will you marry me? And it's in Lake here. It's in front of the band shell. It's like basically the paver stones that they put in down there. And I said, so will you? Because she saw it, and she was like, what? And I was like, will you marry me?
And I thought he found it, that somebody else got engaged there, and he found it and was playing a trick on me because he's proposed 3 times before this that were fake.
And she was like, is this real life? And she pushed away from me because she was so nervous and didn't really know what to think.
He was like, no, this is real. I'm like, this is real. Is this real life? And I let go of him and rolled away from him.
What was your reaction at that specific point?
At that point, I was like, what do I do?
And then he whipped out the ring. So then I came closer to him, and I saw that he had a real ring from like a real store.
So I pulled the ring out. I was like, is this real?
I was like, is this real life? And I rolled away from him again.
And she was like, yes! And she, tried to jump on rollerblades, which didn't turn out too well.
And then I came back and said yes, obviously, and put the ring on.
Yeah, and then I was just like, this is awesome. I was super psyched.
What is the funniest thing to happen while you guys were dating?
Well, Riley is very gullible. So I think for a while he thought my name was Calypso Juniper Atherton. And I mean, the good thing is my whole family will go along with anything that I say without me even warning them that I'm going to tell Riley a fib. So he went and asked my mom, and she backed me up without me even warning her that I was telling Riley my name was something else. But that's just funny for me. It's not funny for him.
One thing that sticks out in my mind is the first time I ever met Jerry. We were at one of Molly's basketball games, and Kelly and I get there, and we go in, and we're looking for Kelly's dad, and all of a sudden she's like, there's my dad. And Jerry is a 6'4". He's a big guy, and he's a drill sergeant in the Army. He's got the look, boys. I can't even do it because I'm too much of a
It's kind of like that, actually.
not enough of a man. No. And basically I went to shake his hand, and I just did this. I was like, hi, sir, my name's Riley. And he like looked down at my hand and then just kept walking. And I think he was like more in the zone of Molly's game, but for some reason that sticks out of my mind as like one of the funniest things, because I was like, oh crap, he hates me. Which is not true. We're pretty good friends. It's which I'm really happy about.
Also funny was when he thought we were going to London. He asked so many people if we were getting surprised with a trip to London for Thanksgiving, and we just weren't. That wasn't what we were getting, but every time he asked somebody, he thought they answered in a suspicious way. And so, he was convinced he figured out the surprise, and he went and bought shoes. And he was like, these are trendy shoes, they're good for walking around, these are my London shoes. And they're good shoes, but we didn't go to London. Also very funny.
Why do you love Riley?
I love Riley because he makes me my best version of myself. As soon as he's so encouraging no matter what I'm doing, and he thinks like everything I do is amazing, and he's my biggest fan, and he makes me laugh. He knows all the right things to do at the exact right moment.
Why do you love Kelly?
I can't answer that with just an answer. There's everything about her. Even when I get frustrated with her for whatever, we're late to church every week or whatever, it's still, that turns into I get to spend this time with her.
What are you looking forward to the most on your wedding day?
I'm most excited for the dance. And yeah, I'm excited to dance with everyone and celebrate.
What are you looking forward to on your wedding day?
Probably hanging out with all my friends. Kelly's supposed to be the focus, it's true. And she will be. She'll be my focus. But, I've known a lot of my friends, including you, since preschool. and I don't get to see them that often. But weddings are great excuses to get everybody together.
What would you like to say to Riley today on your wedding day?
Riley, I can't wait to dance with you the whole night. And I shouldn't say that. I'm excited to be married to you. And I mean, I'm really excited to dance with you, but I'm excited that I finally get to be married to you, because this has been forever. I feel like that we've been waiting to do this, and I can't wait for the rest of our lives just to be with you. Be a little family with you.
All right, last question.
It's already over.
What would you like to say to your bride on your wedding day today? Take it from here, Riley.
Let me just pull this in here for a tight one. Kel, I love you so very much. You are just an incredible person. I don't know all the things to say to encompass that into one statement, but you're amazing. Church bells. It's a touching moment. You are always there for me. You're always being positive and kind and understanding, and I can't believe that I get to marry you. It's pretty amazing that we came together and that we're gonna be a part of each other's lives forever. I mean, like, it's pretty awesome. We're so lucky. We're so lucky. So I love you, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life just hanging out with you. I love you, Hunch.